All right. Okay. Yeah. So why don't you tell me about yourself?
Yeah, so I was, I guess, not traditional student. Went to Carolina in 2020, graduated with a SOS major and Spanish minor. I did a post-bac last year. That's how I met Nicole. So we did everything that we needed to do between the summer of like 2022 to May of 2023. And then we had that summer where we studied for the MCAT together, and it was just like we kind of went in not knowing what we're supposed to be doing or like the right way. It was just like overwhelming with like you have this resource, like what do you do? And I just ended up not even going for the real thing because I think like my practices were like 495 or something like that. So I was just kind of like, oh, that is not the score that I want. So, and also didn't take physics because I initially I had started as pre-PA, and then by the time I turned to pre-med, the way the physics class was set up was just not it. So like when I was trying to self-study in the summer for the MCAT, I was also trying to self-teach physics, and just that didn't go well. So I ended up just throwing everything away. I ended up taking physics, and my score's a little bit higher now. I think the highest I've gotten right now is a 500, which is not the best, obviously, but like it's a 500. It's better than a four something. And I'm still 3 weeks away, and I'm hoping that like the next 3 weeks, I can do something about that score. Like my goal is like a 508. Um, that's just my goal. If I can make more, obviously I'd be happy. And I'm also very open to moving my exam. I'm also working full time, so it's a bit weird. Like I wake up super early to do my ANKI cards, and after work I do my practice questions. So having to structure that has been a lot. But if I need to move my exam, I'm also very open to that. So anyway, I only want to take this exam once, so that's why I reached out to you. The other resources are just a little bit way out of my budget, but this is something I can afford. So yeah, that's why I'm here.
So when you took your practice test with the 495 and the 500s,
Mm-hmm.
which practice tests were these?
So the 495 was the AAMC practice test, like the first one that they put out. The 500 was a blueprint exam.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long was it the how long was it between the 495 and the 500?
So that was, I have um,
Okay, say it again. I think you're breaking up.
sorry, did you hear me?
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I think you're breaking up again.
Okay, let me just take off my.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, cool, perfect. All right, so let me pull up my
So,
here, my study thing.
how long was it between that 495 and that 500?
So I got the 495 on the 13th. Give me one second.
Hmm.
Just taking a while to load. So I got the 500 on the 13th of April, and then the 495 was
This April?
in March. Let me give you the exact date.
So, that 500 was this.
It was 2 weeks apart, I know that.
It was just 2 weeks ago, like the blueprint full length and
I don't know why I can't hear you. One second.
oh, can you hear
Okay.
me? Can you hear me?
Yep. Hmm.
Okay. So,
Yep.
you said the April 13th, what year? 'Cause it was
Of this year.
oh, okay. Got it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just like a couple of days ago is when you took your blueprint full length with the 500, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And the 495 was AMC full length, and that was just like last month, roughly.
That was 2 weeks prior to the blueprint one.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. So, all right, and then so you took your physics class.
I still haven't taken physics 2, but I only did physics 1. But I feel like that has significantly helped me even just understand the general concepts and
Mhm.
even the ideas of like working backwards with the units. Like it's been super helpful. So yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. So, all right, and then so you're working full time, which is always and before work, you do some Anki,
hmm
and then so like are you doing like a 9 to 5?
Yeah, I'm working 9 to 5, 8 to 5 right now. So I'll wake up if like try to start my Anki cards on like 5:30, do my Anki, and then after work, between 6 to like 9, I do as many practice questions as I can until I just stop processing information. And I don't get to do that every day just because of like the nature of my job, and other life stuff, but that's the goal.
Did you say that so you said that was that like what you wanted to do for the rest of the time or
That's my goal. I'm also taking 1 week of PTO that week before the exam just because I know I'm gonna have to like my plan right now is to let me see if I can share my screen with you actually.
Sure.
'Cause I have a little, can you see that?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I kind of had this plan and I just kind of go, but like tomorrow I'm doing cars, I have a dentist appointment, and then I'm doing full length like questions the whole day. I'm starting the full length, the first one that Sunday, reviewing it, and then I'm taking another full length that the 27th, and
Uh-huh.
then I have that whole week. I have from the 3rd up until the 10th off.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I make like a calendar like this for my students
Okay.
also. So I'll just show you so it would be pretty similar to what you have here, but I'll
Okay.
I'll just make some adjustments. So let's see. Um
And like I said, I am more than happy to like move my exam. Like I don't know if 1 week will make a difference, but if it will, if you think it will, I can. But yeah,
yeah, so um I guess are you do you plan on like applying this year?
I do. Yes.
So so I think like so applications start in like June. So
hmm
okay, let's see what we can do then. Um because okay, so with students, what I usually do is something like this. I'll share my screen over here. So can you see what I'm sharing?
Yeah. Yeah.
So typically what I have students do, so like I make a schedule, like a calendar schedule kind of thing like this, and I split
hmm
it into 3 phases.
hmm
So the phase one is what I call the accuracy phase, where you're not worried about doing things, under timed conditions. You're just worried about doing whatever it takes to understand, the actual concepts and stuff. So
hmm
I have students. So, oh, and it's good that you're doing Anki. So yeah, I have my students, do Anki.
hmm
Um, but I also have them start with the Jack Weston Content Diagnostic. So that's on the Jack Weston website, and it's like a bunch of discrete questions. It's not like passage based, but
hmm
it's just there to show you what type of content, you're strong in, what type of content you're weak in.
hmm
And then like cars could be practice from Jack Weston. It could also be like the AAMC Cars Question Pack, Volume 1,
Yeah.
Volume 2, and Diagnostic Tool. So
hmm
I have them do that, and so for each of the days, like whichever thing the student did, they put a strike through. So that way, it's kind of like a fulfilling feeling to put like to strike through.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
After that, after they finish the Jack Weston Content Diagnostic, I have them do UWorld targeted content review. So let's say like if for you, like circuits, because that's like the physics semester 2 thing that they teach usually, right? Is that something that you haven't learned yet, or?
Yeah, I haven't not learned it yet. I've seen it in some practice questions and I've tried to ingest what I can, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie, my game plan was I know I'm really good at orgo and general chem is okay, but I'm really good at orgo and just kind of like the techniques that I've learned from like YouTube videos and things of that nature of like how to attack physics problems. I was just gonna use the information I know and just kind of like learn as I go, like review my practice tests and my practice questions thoroughly. But I haven't really looked at any content in terms of like physics too. And I know that kind of sets me back, but
Well, that's what you're gonna have me for. So so when I usually meet with students, like it's a variety of things we can do. We can like
yeah.
go over questions that you have from the stuff that you do. We can but it could also be like give me like a quick lesson on circuits, and I can go over everything that you need to know for circuits and
Yeah.
all that stuff in like a session. So that's what we can do for the physics stuff.
Okay.
So the UWorld targeted content review is just like, like let's say we go over circuits together in one of our meetings, and then I would say, all right, do like 60 UWorld, problems, passage based as well, on that topic. So that's what I have them do. And then phase 2 is when I have students do third-party full lengths, and the specific third-party ones are Blueprint, Altius. So you took that Blueprint one, and it's pretty cool that your score went up for the Blueprint, because that's usually the opposite of what happens. I actually collected from the Reddit sidebar of the like
Yeah.
that subreddit, like from 2017 to 2021, people who scored 523 or higher. So I have like 560-ish people here with an average score of 524.64. Now, we also have average scores for the third party. So Blueprint used to be called Next Step.
Yeah.
See that the average score for the Blueprint test for people who scored an average of 524 is a 510.
Okay.
So, and Altius, it's the same thing pretty much, like a 510. And then I also have like the comments from these people, but like mostly everyone says that they're harder in the proper way, like in contrast to like, let's say like a Kaplan test where it could be harder, but it's harder just because they ask minutia, like questions about stuff that aren't very high yield. The Blueprint and Altius tests, like they're harder in a way that will benefit you for your actual test. So I usually have students do like for the phase 2, I have them do the Blueprint or Altius tests. And those you should be getting deflated scores for that. Then once that's done, I have them do phase 3, which is just the AAMC. That's usually where you see a score jump, a score boost. So for you, so
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, okay. From the thing that you were showing me, like it seemed like so like there was like a Princeton review test there. So I would maybe not do that one and do like a Blueprint or Altius, but also on the week of your exam, it seemed like you were doing like 3 tests or something.
I can share with you again.
Yeah.
I'm doing the where's this?
Also, if you want, you can make a copy of that spreadsheet you made and share it with me, and then I can kind of add some stuff to it as well.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, I'm supposed to be taking, so my MCAT's on the 11th. I'm supposed to be taking AAMC 3 on the 6th and AAMC 4 on the 8th. And this is kind of where it's like, I've read a couple Reddit things where it's like, do your last exam 2 to 3 days before the actual MCAT. So I just didn't know was that too close? Is that too far? Not giving me enough time to actually like review the exams? I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I usually have students do their last practice exam a week before their test.
Oh, okay.
But I also have them do a lot of tests. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to see what can work for us.
Okay.
So you have the test that the two practice tests that you mentioned, are those the only two that you took?
So I mean, this time around, I took a blueprint diagnostic, at the very beginning of my study and like before I started, what's it called? Content review back in January.
Okay.
Um, and I think that was like a 594, sorry, 493. I think it was around that ballpark.
Yep.
And then did my content review, which honestly I probably should have done Anki while I was doing my content review by hindsight. Um, and then I took the AAMC practice one, got the 495, and then took blueprint, and then so I've only have done basically two.
Okay.
I'm supposed to do one this Sunday.
So
That'll be my third.
but for the AMC ones, you only took one, right?
I've only done one of them, yeah. Because I
Okay.
wanted to, I knew I had to save those for the very end because
Yep.
right.
That's a good move you made. Okay, so let's see what we can do with that date. You said
Actually, let me share my screen with you one more time.
sure.
I think you're still sharing yours.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And like I said, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, when you say that you can reschedule it, how far would you be able to
So it gets a little. The reason why I chose that 11th is this week of the 13th.
Mhm.
Um, I am in the office. Like this week, I'm in the office. So it's like when I'm in the office, I don't really have as much wiggle room in between my days to not work
Yeah,
and actually do some other stuff.
you can't change
So,
PTO week.
so that week of the 6th is my PTO week, but I can move it to the week of the 13th,
Okay.
or the week of the 20th if I end up moving my test to like May 25th or something like that.
What,
But I can only
what
go
would be
ahead.
yeah, sorry. What would be the latest that you would feel comfortable uh pushing the test back to?
So that's the thing that I've done everything I can, and the only thing that's left is the MCAT. And if that means me applying in June, that's fine. Like, so like if I take the test on the 25th, I get my score on the 25th of June,
Mhm.
theoretically. And that's fine with me.
Huh?
As long as I get to, as
Yep.
long as I get a good score, essentially. 508, 510 is my goal. If I can get anything higher, I'd be happy. But
Okay, okay. I think we can work with that then. So so okay, if I have you take so okay, so I'm gonna put down MCAT for the 25th and I'm gonna just go backwards.
okay.
So a week before that, which would be the 18th, I would say, so I'll say like phase three, so AMC full length 5. Um And then, so on the days on the weeks when you are working, how many, yep.
Yeah, can you explain? So like next week, I am working from home. So let's say like the first half of my day, meeting and calls, and the second half of the day, it's like modules and situations like that. If I can get through those modules fast enough, then I can get back. So like, let's say I have 1 to 5 to do my modules for work. I can theoretically finish all my modules in like 2 hours if I'm like focused, intent. So I could get like from 3 to 5 back for my own thing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. So in your thing, if you scroll up a bit to like April, I just want to see. So okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you have it so that you're taking one test a week, it seems, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So okay, now okay, so I'm gonna put it in for the okay, so
Also, hope that test date is available.
yeah. So we may have you because if I go backwards from the 25th of May and
Mhm.
like the Saturday before could be full AMC full length 4, I mean 5. The 11th would be 4, the 4th would be full length 3, and then the 27th would be full length 2. But so you took full length 1, and did you say you took the sample
No,
also?
no, no. I haven't taken. I took the practice test, so I still have my 4 full lengths left.
So like there's the sample, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and then there's another
So they
exam.
have the practice test, like the AAMC practice test, the one that's listed on the very first of the bundle, then the sample test, then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, okay. So
Mhm.
the one that you took was the most
The practice test.
yeah, the most recent one that was made. Okay. So okay, I call that 5, so I'm just gonna change it so that because you okay, so I'll change that
Okay.
to be like this. And
also, this is another reason why I chose the 11th. I'm also moving. So like I just have a lot going on. So that's why I wanted to get it done sooner. But like I said, more than open to shift things around to push it back just so I can get a better score. But that week of like, I could potentially move earlier if we move my test to the 25th. But that week of like, I was going to move the 12th after like the day of my MCAT, but I can always move earlier than that to just shift things around.
yeah. I mean, there's different ways of viewing this. Like,
Okay.
certain like I see that you're kind of seeing it like, I have a lot of stuff that I have to do like moving on this week, so let's take it a week before. But you could also see it like I'm doing like moving and stuff this week, but I'm gonna take it after. So on this date, on this week when I'm moving, I could just do like a smaller amount of stuff, but
Mhm.
that'll still be more
Mhm.
the stuff that you'll be
And yeah, okay, I get where you're coming from. Okay.
um but I know like it's very different for people. Like people like to maybe think like, okay, I'm gonna like really hardcore focus on this week, and then the next week when I'm moving and stuff, like I don't have to worry about it. So
Mhm.
it depends. I usually favor like whatever would give you the most time overall.
Mhm.
So yeah, if I'm gonna feel bad because it seems like I'm gonna have to make you maybe not do your jazz night and stuff. But
No, these are things that are like very minuscule. Like, don't like that happens every month. So it's like, don't worry about it. I can fly to Texas another time. So these are just random things. But honestly, the main focus is MCAT.
okay. So let's see if we can okay, so if we do the one test a week, that will let you that will let you, I guess, finish all the AMC full lengths if you start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have access to like the other blueprint exams or the other Altius exams?
So I haven't done Altius yet. The only full length one I've done is like outside of AMC is the blueprint one. I know this I signed up for Kaplan, but Reddit was like,
Yeah,
so
it's
I have yeah. So I had out that one, and then Princeton review, and that's about it. And then I have those 4 AMC ones.
how many blueprint ones?
So I could pay for another one, but I only did like the free one that they offer after you do the diagnostic. Yeah.
Okay, got it. So yeah, I was gonna say if it's possible, um, for you during the week to do like one section of a practice test each,
Mm-hmm.
that will enable us to fit more practice tests in. But
Mm-hmm.
but we can we can I think we can still do well with just the AMC tests.
Okay.
If do you have UWorld?
So I don't have you. So I used to have UWorld, but my game plan, that was one of the things I was gonna do because
What about the AMC section bank?
I have all the AMC. I got the
Okay.
free assistance thing, so I have all the AMC information. That's the where I've been getting most of my practice questions on top of Jack Western. That's been my 2 resources.
Okay. All right. You know what? So I know how this can work. So we can you don't have to buy any extra stuff. We can do this with the stuff that we already have. So what I would say is for you to like during the week, like during the week, you can do questions from the AAMC like section bank,
Mhm,
the sciences, and
mhm,
questions, passages from the AAMC cars, question pack
mhm,
1, question pack 2,
mhm.
content, diagnostic tool.
Mhm.
Oh, I should have asked this, like your scores, how how do the scores usually vary in
So,
section?
so here's the thing. So, okay, so first thing, cars. Whenever I do cars on timed, I follow like the Jack Western method that they teach,
Yep,
whatever. And whenever I do it untimed, 100% all the time.
yep,
The problem is when it gets to timed,
yep.
and it's not bad, but like my thing is with timing, and that's my thing with a majority of my sections besides like soc. It's like especially with cars, it's timing. That's why like for example, you see like on the 23rd cars in the AM, I was gonna do one of those full sections and try to time myself.
Huh?
So that was my game plan so I could get faster at it. But I think for psych, let me see if I can pull up my log on to I did not write those down last time I took them to blueprint, so I can give you the score. But I do know that psych social was my highest. I think I got like a 126 or 127, but let me just pull it up really quickly so I don't tell you the wrong thing.
Sure, sure.
But I do know I made a big jump from the AAMC one with in terms of like biochem because I think I got like a 122 on the first one, and then I got like a 125 on the 500 one. So that made a jump, and I feel like that's all because of Anki. I'm not gonna lie, Anki made a huge difference with that. Same thing with like Soch. Anki has made a huge difference with that.
Yeah,
Um,
I say that. So those are the sections that are the most content dependent. And for anything that's content dependent, meaning you need to know a lot of the content, there's no better tool than Anki because Anki is the
mhm,
best tool to memorize things. Of
mhm,
course, like I don't like ever saying like it's all about memorization. Make sure you memorize all this stuff.
mhm,
But there are certain things that you just have to have memorized. So that makes
exactly.
yeah, that makes sense that behavioral sciences and biochem scores went up. I
Mhm.
use Anki. So okay, so what I think we
Okay. So chem phys, I got 125. Cars, I got 123. Bio, which went down from my original one, because I think my original one I did 125 on cars. So cars went down. Biochem, I got a 126, and psych soc, I got a 126.
got it. So yeah, these all seem pretty similar. So okay, what I would say is for you to take a an AMC full length tomorrow.
So it have to be Sunday.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay, okay, cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Sunday, right?
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
So on the 21st here, we can have you do AMC full length, like sam
One. Do
uh
the sample?
whichever, because
Okay.
is
I don't think the sample scored.
oh yeah, you could just use a score converter.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll provide you with one, but yeah,
Okay.
okay. For that, that'll be the sample. And what I have students do after you take the test, well, not on the same day. Like when you're done with the test, you're done, right?
You're done for the day, yeah.
But maybe for like the next day or something like that. What I have students do is something called a blind review.
Nicole told me about it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, tell me about
So
that.
she told me that you take all the questions you got wrong,
Yeah,
do them untimed, and see if you'll get it right this time.
yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. So the purpose of that is to separate the questions that you got wrong because you didn't really understand it from the questions that you got wrong because you're on a time crunch. So like if you like let's say for CP, let's say you get 10 wrong, uh
Hmm.
what you'll do is you'll write down which 10 questions you got wrong try
Mhm.
not to look at the answer, and then do another attempt, but this time
Untimed.
untimed, and only answer the questions that you got wrong. And what's likely going to happen is the 10 that you got wrong, it'll be like maybe you'll get 5 right this time. So now you have 5 that are wrong. So for the 5 questions that are still wrong, you'll do your regular review, which is reading the solution. And let's say from those 5, now 3 of them make sense. But for the 2 that still don't make sense, even after you do your regular review, we're going to go over when we meet. So when we meet, instead of us just going over everything you got wrong, isn't that efficient? We're going to go over the ones that are like really high priority, like that you don't get even after the reading the solution. Or it could be something that you do get, but you're just curious how I would approach it.
Okay, noted. Okay.
So basically, so if we have you do the AAMC full-length sample on Sunday, and then like Monday, Tuesday, you can kind of spread
Yeah.
review out like that. And then I would say, so here, I'll just put this. So do you think you'd be able to do like your blind review and review like on that Monday after, or?
So I could do, so like I can probably do the blind review. It just depends on how lax work would be essentially. So I could do a blind review. I don't know about for the whole test, but I can definitely do it for 2 sections. Also, that's another question. Would I need to do a blind review for cars?
Oh yeah, it would be for
The whole thing. Okay, gotcha.
Well, yeah, just whatever ones you got wrong,
Okay, noted. Okay, yeah. So it depends on how many I got wrong. So I honestly probably just 2 days. I would need 2 days.
Okay,
With,
I'll put
yeah.
it in for 2 days, and then we can have you do oh yeah, AAMC section bank, AAMC cars, which will be passages from the question pack 1, question pack 2, diagnostic tool. Now, since I usually have people do that stuff like in the phase 1, that's the untimed, since we're essentially having you be in phase 3 right away, I think it would be good for us to time ourselves for the section bank. And actually, I'll actually decide on that maybe after like next week. Let's have you for like next week. Let's have you just when you do the section bank and AAMC cars, maybe take your time. I'll make a decision on that like maybe
Cool.
soon. But
Yeah.
so okay, that can be that for like the let's see, until the Sunday again, which is when you'll do your AAMC full length 1.
And I can do the full one. I know this week is just an anomaly because being in the office, I just wasn't able to do as much as I could at home. So next week I can do my full length on a Saturday instead of a Sunday. So that way I can have all day Sunday to do a full blind test.
Oh, when you say that, you mean the
So on the 27th, so I'm taking the prep sample on the 21st, so I can take another full length on the 27th instead of 28th. That way I have the 20th to fully review, to fully do the blind test.
Got it. Okay. And then would it be your the full length after that? Would that be Saturday the 4th?
Yes, Saturday the 4th. Yeah.
All right, and so that can be full length 2, and then full length 3 on the 11th.
Mhm.
And then lastly, full length 4 on the,
18.
yep.
And then that week of the 13th, I'm in the office. So in terms of everything that I'm doing, I'm just gonna move a little bit slower than what I would have done if I was working from home. Mhm.
Yeah. So, okay. So,
And I also have I can take 1 week of PTO. So I assume that the week of the 20th of before the exam, I can take PTO.
okay.
So I'll have a lot more time.
All right. So the way I have it here is, so tomorrow, oh yeah, gotta change that to, okay. So basically on the 21st, you will take your AAMC full length sample, the unscored one.
Mhm.
I'll give you a link to for a score converter.
Mhm.
I'm just writing the blind review and Anki here, but I have it also here
Mhm. Mhm.
those days.
Mhm.
And then after that, after you blind review and review it, you will do for the sciences the AAMC section bank.
Mhm.
So so there's one for CP, there's one for BB, there's one for Psych Soc. Each one is
Mhm.
100 questions, includes passages and discretes. So
Mhm.
that will be for the sciences, and then for cars, it'll be those 3 resources: the AMC Cars Volume 1, Volume 2, Diagnostic,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
oh yeah, I guess the blind review wouldn't really fit there. So
Tuesday is that I don't do any meetings or calls on Tuesday. So Tuesday, theoretically, I have more hours to do more stuff. So definitely have the blind review done by that Wednesday. So yeah.
so and then when you're not, so like you're basically going to be doing 3 things. Like either you're going to be taking a test, reviewing the test, which includes a blind review, or doing AMC section bank for sciences and AMC cards for cars.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
will be every day. So
Okay.
that's what'll be here. And then Saturday the 27th, AMC full length 1, and then review it on the 28th, and then 29th, you're back to the AMC section bank and the cars.
Mhm.
And then when we get to May 4th, it'll be your full length 2.
Mhm.
Then I have to change this. And then it would be back to, whoops, back
Okay.
um that section bank and car stuff. Honestly, you might even be finished with that section bank by that point.
Mhm.
So I'll try to see what else could be, what could be science stuff that you do.
Mhm.
But the cars, there's tons of
There's so much practice. Yeah. Even Jack Weston has the little section thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So okay, and then AMC full length 3 on the 11th, and if we take that out and we put that here, you would take that, and then I'll just put this here for that week.
What
And
do I do the week before the exam?
the week before the exam, okay, yeah, that's a good question. So the week before the exam, you don't want to be doing a lot of intense stuff. Of course, like the level of intensity should just go down
Mhm.
as you get to the 24th.
Mhm.
So, but it would just be like those. So like you'll finish all of your practice tests by a full week before, right? So
Mhm.
for that week of the test, it'll be like doing like we can be doing like either like whichever science areas that you don't feel the most confident in, we can
Mhm.
do like kind of like the UWorld targeted review. Like we don't have to like use UWorld per se, but the idea would be like if there's things that you're, I guess, consistently um getting wrong, or like just certain like content, like subject matter
Mhm.
that you're weak in, we can just have you like brush up on that stuff.
Mhm.
But by that point,
UWorld also has a 1 week free trial, so I guess it worked
that
perfectly.
could work. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would work perfectly then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So so yeah, as we do these tests and as you do all this work, right, you'll get a better idea of like what types of areas you're like content areas you're strong in and what type of content areas you're weak in. But it's also going to be, oh, so you also talked about timing. So let me tell you about like a good timing strategy. Um, okay, oh yeah, that was just a line. So let's say we have, okay, so like for instance, it's like roughly it's 59 questions, for this
Yeah.
science section. So I'm just gonna just write like roughly 60 and 90 minutes or 1.5 hours, right? So what I want you to do is not really look at the clock except for 3 designated checkpoints. So the first checkpoint is once you get to number 20. So once you get to number 20, that's the first third of, of the test section. So you want to have, 60 minutes or 1 hour remaining. So now once you get to question 20, if you have more than 60 minutes left or more than an hour left, you're good. If you have less than an hour left, just gently tell yourself, all right, I'm just gonna go a little faster, but like very gently because I don't want you to start rushing. The next checkpoint will be at the halfway mark, which would be at question 30. And that would be like 45 minutes left on the clock, right? And that's just another checkpoint to see, okay, am I at 45 minutes? Do I have more than 45 minutes? Do I have less than 45 minutes? So that gives you another opportunity to adjust your pace. And then lastly would be when you're on question 40, you should have 30 minutes left. So that's going to be like your last, I guess, checkpoint to adjust your pace. Now, in addition to this, any question that takes, so if a question takes longer than 1.5 minutes, of course, you're not going to be like constantly looking at the clock to see, oh, am I spending more than 1.5 minutes on this? But when you get your test scored or whatever, it'll show you like average
Yeah, how
time.
much time? Yeah.
But also, just start to get a feeling for it. So like for instance, like a calculation problem, let's say. So calculation problem, like let's say you do the calculation and you get an answer that you don't see in the choices. It's very easy to get really caught up in that and to be like, okay, I know what to do. I messed up the math. Let me do the calculation again. And that can be a really major like time sink. So for a calculation problem, I would say that when you do your initial calculation, if that doesn't give you your answer, just guess, flag, and move on.
Okay.
Any question that you're not 100% certain of, also, make your best, guess. Process elimination as much as you can. Flag, move on. And if you do this like, with discipline, like you don't let anything take longer than that 1.5 minutes,
Yeah.
you should have some time left at the very end. And that's a good place to be in because instead of having it so that each passage, like instead of giving each passage the same exact amount of time and each question the same amount of time, that won't really work because different passages have different difficulties and different questions
Yeah.
have difficulties. So basically um so like let's say that you didn't do this timing method and you are on the second to last passage and roughly it'll be like 10 minutes per passage, right? But if you did that and you're on that second to last passage, and let's say that the second to last passage is really hard and it takes longer than 10 minutes, then when you get to the last passage, you have less than 10 minutes and you're going to be like rushing, right?
Mhm.
But doing it this way means that you will at least have seen, like once you finish question 59, you ideally will have some time left. And at that point, you hit the review flag button. And then for the flag questions that for the questions that you flagged, depending on how certain you are of them, like let's say that like you flagged question 15, question 25, question 36, question like 45. Let's say question 15, you're like 75% sure.
Mhm.
This is like 30% sure. This is 25% sure. This is
Mhm.
60% sure. So when you do your review flag, you're going to start with the one with that like
Gotcha.
lowest certainty in, followed by like the next one. And of course, it also depends on the type of question. Like if the question requires you to do too much, like to analyze some data to
Yeah.
do some calculation or something like that, you can use your judgment and choose different flag questions to do. But I would say that's the best way. Like instead of just doing it all with everything given the same exact amount of time, you do it in such a way that you ensure that you have some time at the end, and that's because you're flagging, and
Mhm.
time at the end means that you get to look at the ones that you flagged already having seen every question. So that just gives you like an additional layer of confidence.
So something that I noticed, so for my current job right now, I had to take like licensing exams. And something that I noticed that I'm really good at is changing the right answer to the wrong answer when I go back and review. So they were like, leave the answer that you have. So it's like when it comes to flagging, I've noticed that whenever I review my exams, a lot of my questions is when I go back and change right to wrong.
Mhm. Yeah. So common thing that people talk about a lot
Yeah.
is when people say things like, you know, go with your gut, things like that. But it depends on where your gut is, right? Like if you are getting lots of things wrong, right? Then maybe it warrants like another look,
Yeah.
another attempt or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it turns out that usually, you know, you're changing it from right to wrong or something, then it kind of shows that, maybe your first instinct is good.
Hmm.
We're definitely going to see that as you take these practice tests. So you're
Okay.
given a lot of that extra data, but that's also why when you when you review your flag questions, you're going to start with the ones that you're not certain, like that you're the least certain of, right?
Hmm.
Because like
Fair.
if you're 75% sure or 60% sure, that just shows that your gut or your instincts are telling you that you likely are closer to the right answer than the wrong answer in those cases.
Hmm.
But so yeah, so like if you're just reviewing everything that you flagged, because I said to flag stuff that you're not 100% certain of, um,
Hmm.
you want to, I guess, spend that time reviewing the flagged questions that you are the least certain of. So
Okay.
so like, if this one is like a right to wrong, this one is a right to wrong, like that would be reflected in like
Gotcha.
an
Okay.
appraisal of how right you think that answer is.
Okay.
But yeah, as we do more and more of this
Okay.
stuff, like questions and everything and passages and all that stuff, we'll have a better idea of where like your instinct or your baseline is. Um, so yeah, so that's what I would say for the timing strategy. For cars, like it'll be similar, but just like a different number of questions. Like it's 53 questions, but I would say to like have the three checkpoints. So like you know, it's also 90 minutes, right? Or am I getting that wrong?
No, so cars
Uh,
has short amount of time. Wait, night 53. I don't know, but short cars section is shorter. Let me pull it up.
yeah, I think I was getting like the 90% and the 95. I think maybe the sciences are like 95.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, 95 minutes, and then for cars it would be like the 90 minutes, I think.
Mhm, mhm.
But you would do a similar thing. Like what you would do is you would like uh separate it like into like thirds, I guess.
Mhm.
Or like the first third, the halfway point, and then after that. So for cars, that would be like whatever 53. Let's see, divided by 3. How would you do this calculation, by the way? How are you with like the calculation problems?
So this is one of the things I learned from a video that I watch on YouTube. Always try to get it to a exponent, like 5.0 times 10 to the power of something.
Yep.
And then round it to like the nearest thing. I don't know where you wrote that. So you probably do like 55 divided by 5 or something like that, or 50 divided by 2. Just try to get to the nearest number that you can do in your head, but not too far off.
Got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go over like some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot of like really kind of like unique ways of kind of doing a lot of the math that
Okay.
so what I would do here, right? So yeah, what I'm gonna show you like may or may not be like what you feel ultimately comfortable with, but
Mhm.
what I would do is I would ask myself, okay, 3 goes into 5 once, right? And there's a
Mhm.
remainder 2, so I put that 2 here. Now 3 goes into 23 7 times, because 3 goes into 21 7 times. Now there's a remainder of 2. So that remainder of 2, you just divide by the original denominator, which is the 3. So it's 17 and 2/3, which is 17.67.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I have like a couple of videos that I'm like, I just have to finish editing
Yeah.
that go over a lot of these other type of math kind of
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's something that that I can kind of show you. Uh,
Yeah.
but okay, so that means that that's like, a third of the test. So like so for the timing thing, it would be like when you're on question 18, I guess.
Mhm.
Then when you're like in the middle, let's say question 26,
Mhm.
and then so like that would be 45 minutes left. This would be like, oops, this would be like 60 minutes left. And then when you're on like the last third, which would be like question like, let's say like 43, maybe something like that.
Mhm.
That's when you should have like 30 minutes left.
Got it.
So, but it's the same. Yeah, the numbers, I may have messed up the numbers here, but the idea is 3 checkpoints, uh,
Mhm.
like where you check the clock. You don't want to be checking the clock constantly, so that's why the 3 checkpoints will work.
Mhm.
And yeah, so okay. And when it comes to like reading the passages and stuff like that, like how do you usually feel about
So I think it honestly depends on the passage. Like I've like the practice questions that I've been doing have helped in terms of like even simple even practice questions as well as Anki, simple things as like wild type, the plus and the minus thing, immediately knowing that like minus means wild type and then plus means the mutant or vice versa. But simple things like that has made reading the passage a little better. And like I try to do like the annotation thing, which I don't know if has been helping or not helping, but like reading through the passage and like trying not to highlight by like saying that like, oh, this is doing like the pathway, like this causes this, if you do this, it changes this. And I feel like that's another reason why I had that score bump is because I was doing that. But I think it honestly boils down to like if I had more time, I'd get more answers right, but obviously I don't. So it's like a timing thing again. Or like I'm really good at narrowing down the answers to like 50-50 and I end up choosing the wrong 50. But when it comes to like the discrete questions, I tend to do a little better on those because it's the most like just content. And I feel like that's come from Anki helping me with the content. And knowing my amino acids just straight up.
got
But
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so okay. I think it'd be good for us, to go over like a passage together when we
Mhm.
maybe like meet next. So
Mhm.
because yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can show you. Like for like BB particularly, what people usually have trouble with is keeping up with all of the acronyms.
Mhm.
So what I teach for that is like something like proportionalities. Um, so like what I mean by that is like, let's say we have a passage that talked about, let's say it talked about osteoarthritis, and
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of like a passage I went over yesterday. So it was about osteoarthritis, and then they say that, okay, so another thing is like when people write like, okay, so like let's say osteoarthritis means or is related to the breakdown of cartilage.
Mhm.
So what a lot of people do is they would say something like this: osteoarthritis goes up, you know, cartilage goes down,
Mhm.
something like that, right?
Mhm.
So the reason that this is not preferable is because they're going to ask you or expect you to know what a graph would look like. So
Mhm.
the proportionality symbol is this.
Yes, I've learned that in physics.
Exactly. Yeah, the
Yeah.
physics stuff, like honestly, like, I always say this, like if you look up MCAT scores by major or any test like LSAT scores by major, GRE, GMAT,
Mhm.
etc., you'll see like at the top will always be like math majors, physics majors, philosophy majors, and
Mhm.
that's oh, and then for the BB section on the MCAT, like even though it's specifically like testing biology, biology majors score lower on that than even humanities majors.
Mm.
And that's because it's passage based, and it's also because bio majors are used to just learning things by memorizing them. But
Yeah.
the critical
Yeah.
thinking test, so you want to remember that it's testing your critical thinking skills.
Mhm.
So yes, physics, because I also say like bio is applied chem is applied physics, physics is applied math. Uh,
Yeah.
you can use your knowledge of math to figure stuff out about physics, and you can use physics to figure stuff out about chemistry, and use chemistry to figure stuff out about biology, but you can't really figure stuff out about chemistry from biology, you know what I mean? Because it's
Yeah,
like
that's true. Yeah.
applied like that way. So oh yeah, so the proportionality symbol, like that's a physics thing, but that's something that's going to help you with everything. So what I would do is for if something is directly proportional, um, I would just put that in. Like
Mhm.
if A is proportional to B, like if A goes up, B goes up. If A goes down, B
Mhm.
goes down. But if
Mhm.
inverse proportion, which is what it's called, it would be proportional to 1 over the cartilage here.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, and I have like a video on the YouTube channel where I kind of talk about this that
Mhm.
I can send to you, but I talk about why it's good to do it this way. But yeah, let's say it's a passage on osteoarthritis. They say that it will be caused by a loss of cartilage, and let's say that they also say that this is happening due to like an inflammatory response.
Mhm.
So maybe I'd say proportional to that. And then um, what happens is also the narrowing of the cartilaginous the joint. So instead of writing proportional to the narrowing of a joint, I could just say it's inversely proportional to the joint like size. And then let's say that it also causes the production of osteophytes, which are like bony growths. And then let's say we have a question that asks you, okay, what is what will you most likely see in a patient suffering from osteoarthritis? And the choices were
Mm.
yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just like, I see what you mean. The
Oh,
thought process. Yeah. Yeah.
so they could be like, so this was an actual question. So it was like, so A is like the reduction in yellow bone marrow.
Mhm.
I think B was like the maybe reduction in the hematopoietic parts of the red bone marrow, and then let's say C is saying creation of bone, and then let's say D is degeneration of bone. So so most people would eliminate A and B because the passage didn't talk about bone marrow. And then C and D, so C would be like the formation of bone, and D would be like the breakdown of bone. So what do you think it would be?
You said C is
Oh, the like the
formation of bone, and then you said D was
yeah, the breakdown of bone.
breakdown of bone. And the question is asking, what would osteoarthritis lead to?
So yeah, what do you think?
Breakdown?
So a lot of people would choose breakdown, right? Because when people think of osteoporosis and that type of stuff, right?
Yeah,
People think of something being bad.
yeah,
They're gonna think breaking down, right?
yeah.
But from this proportionality thing that I drew, we know that osteoarthritis is the breakdown of cartilage, right? Not the breakdown of bone.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's proportional to, which means that as osteoarthritis goes up, osteophytes goes up, and osteophytes, maybe I should have said like what the osteophytes are bony growths, right?
Mm-hmm.
So osteoarthritis should, we know from the passage and from what we write in the proportionality, means that you're going to have an increase in bony growth. So the answer would be
Formation of bone.
that big.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And you can also see a lot of times with, I guess, unfortunately not for the ANKI test, which is annoying, but this was like a UWorld passage, so it tells
They'll
you.
say how many people, yeah.
So usually, like, so A and B were like 9%, 10%. People knew to get rid of those, but it was mostly like between
Neck and neck, yeah.
the bones, and that's what I mean about the yeah. So like you'll see it more in practice as we go over stuff, but when you read like a BB passage, if you're able to like write, something like this down, you will then see like how all of those factors, and usually they will include a lot of like acronyms as well. You'll see how they relate to one another. And that's going to be like half the battle, because most
Yeah.
of the time it'll just be like, if this goes up, what happens to this? So that's one of the strategies I'll show you. And then like there's another one with like drawing a schematic, which is kind of like what you were talking about with like the arrows and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot that we can go over once we go over that test that you take.
Okay, noted.
So yeah. So okay. Do you have any questions on?
Yeah, so I have the section, let me pull up my the bank. 1 second.
You said a question bank?
Yeah, no, I'm pulling up my AMC stuff just to clarify like what's
Sure. Yep.
Okay, so when you say section bank, let me just share my screen. So like this very bottom one, section bank, or just like any in general?
Yeah, um okay, so the section bank that you see down there is what I'm talking about. Now
Yeah.
they have all this other stuff that that just kind of make you feel like you get more bang for your buck, but the other if it's called a question pack, it's from the old MCAT, and crazy because the old MCAT, I can't believe it's like almost 10 years ago, but 2015 was like the last time for the old MCAT,
Okay.
which I took, by the way. But so the question packs are all from the old MCAT, but which means that they're not very relevant to how the MCAT is today. But the section that has not changed from the old MCAT to the new MCAT is cars.
Gotcha.
The only question packs that are useful will be the cars question packs. So that's
Gotcha. Okay.
the diagnostic tool is new, right?
Mhm.
But you see the cars question packs below?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the only question packs that are still relevant.
Gotcha.
But what isn't relevant is like the bio question pack isn't relevant, chem question bank isn't relevant, question bank isn't relevant. None of that physics question pack isn't relevant. So what would be relevant would be just that section.
The cars and the section bank.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Noted. And then I'm assuming you're gonna send that chart over, but so do you think I don't need to take that whole week of PTO off? I can just take like 2 days off, or
That week of PTO, I think I put down for the week of the 20th of May. Is that
No, I'm just saying like so I can add more, reduce it, but do you think because I'm not gonna be taking as many questions, I'm not gonna be doing as much that week, do I really need to take like a full day off?
Oh, well, that's a good question. So
Or just kind of fill it out?
what's up?
Do you think we just like fill it out as we go along?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like everything will be, nothing is completely set in stone, but that week, we will decide what we want to do that week, but I would still say to take that week of
Off.
just because that's when you're gonna get into like the fully like MCAT mode, like complete
Yeah.
MCAT mode. Because all the other days, you can focus for a couple of hours and a day, for the
Yeah.
practice test days and stuff, but you still have like some work to do and some stuff like that. So for that week of like I don't want it to seem like we're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be like some of the like the finer kind of aspects of like nudging, like learning a little bit over here, doing this a little bit faster, and then and it'll
Yeah.
also involve things that like from our sessions that I'll kind of notice from you, like what things to like kind of like work on. So yeah, I would still say to take
Okay.
that last week off, just so you can be completely in that immersed into like that MCAT mode.
Fair.
Yeah. So okay. So
All right.
and for ANKI, you're using like the Miles Down deck, I'm guessing.
Yep.
And you're usually doing it like cards from like all the sections, or like are you focusing on like a few, or
I just do whichever, like, I guess I can also share that I'm behind this week again.
oh, that week of the MCAT, like you're gonna probably be doing a lot of ANKI.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me share. So I'm, like I said, I'm behind this week, but this is how mine is set up. So I made one for like questions that I missed, but
Yeah, that's gonna help a lot. Especially for the psych soc section.
yeah.
Like what I like did myself and what I have students do like is so when you take these practice tests, in psych soc, any term, like even if you got a question right, any term that you see, like if it's in the other answer choices and stuff, you want to know. You want to know.
Yeah.
So making cards after you do your like review would really help for that. So yeah, I see you have psych soc missed MCAT questions.
Yeah.
For the other ones, so
Mm-hmm.
it's great. That's a great thing to do. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, that was super helpful. I will keep you updated on if that test date is available.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then I will send you an email.
Okay. So yeah, I shared the spreadsheet with you. I'm gonna share a the Google Drive with a lot of really useful stuff. I would say to look at the PDFs folder in that. And do you want me to schedule you in for next time?
Yes.
All right. When would you want to meet?
So Looking at my work calendar, so when would be a good time to meet according to like the calendar you built for me?
Okay, so you're gonna take your sample on Sunday, and then Monday you'll do a review. And
Mm-hmm.
so I would say like pretty much when you're finished with your review of that
Okay.
sample, so that could be like I guess you'll be finished maybe by like by Tuesday.
Yeah, end of Tuesday, definitely.
So let's see.
I have like a work thing from like 4 to 4:15. I mean 4:45, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. So okay, so you're like only available, that means like after 5 p.m., right?
No, no, no. So the only thing I have that day is between 4 and 4:45. So any other time, I'm good. You can schedule something.
Oh, I just mean like in general for the week.
I'll say that question one more time.
Oh, sorry, just in general for the week.
Uh-huh. Am I free or available? What was the question?
Oh, sorry, yeah. Just like when are you free? Like what time are you free during the week? Like I know you're saying for Wednesday you're free in that.
Yeah, so essentially Wednesdays are so Tuesday I'm available all day until like 4 p.m.
Yep.
Wednesdays are pretty busy for me, so Wednesdays are a no-go. And
Yeah.
then most days between Monday, Thursday, and Friday, it's mostly in the afternoons when I'm available.
And when you say afternoon,
So like after 1 p.m. I'm free.
okay. So all right, that works then. So okay. Monday, Tuesday you'll be doing that review. Wednesday be you're
I can
busy.
do after 5, but that's about it.
Um and then Thursday you said
I can do after 1 p.m. I have a meeting between 2 and 3, but that's it.
oh, okay, okay. So would like 3:30
Mm-hmm.
work? Okay.
3:30 works perfect. Yep.
So I'll put you in for that. So yeah, so Thursday the 25th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
That work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Now, yeah, so yeah, I shared the spreadsheet. I'm gonna share the drive with you.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do want to do the payment?
I can do Zelle or Venmo. It's completely up to you.
Yeah.
Zelle might be better. Let
Yep.
me put it up.
So here's my phone number here. In the chat.
Okay. Nine one seven 293 5994. Cool. All right. How much would it be for today?
Um, what did we do? We started. It could just okay. So I guess we went a little bit over an hour, but I'll just bill you for the hour. It's
Okay.
fine. And since you're okay with the recording, it should just be 75.
Cool. Sending it right now. It has been sent.
All right, awesome. So, and then I'm sharing with you the Google Drive.
Okay.
And awesome. Okay, so good luck.
Thanks.
Tomorrow. So you got like that timing thing down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'll probably like email it to you also just so you have it. So yeah,
Yeah.
good luck on your test, I guess on Sunday actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see you
Thursday at 3:30.
okay. All right, it was nice
Cool.
meeting you and
Yeah.
we're gonna kill it.
All right. Thank you so much, Shane.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.